Hey guys, what's going on? This is Travis P11. Well, what we're doing here on the channel is just taking a quick look at these Magpul manufactured Glock 17 round magazines versus the factory 17 round magazines. We're going to take a look at some of the basic features, just kind of my overall impression of the Magpul magazines. Now, first of all, I love all things Magpul. I don't know if I've ever purchased a bad Magpul product, but when these first came out, I know that people were complaining about having some issues. I don't know if it was jamming or breaking or falling apart. Magpul quickly remedied the situation. I believe they recalled the magazines and replaced them for anybody that was having issues with them, which is great on Magpul. These are not first generation Glock 17, or just I guess you can say 17 round Glock PMAGs or Magpul PMAGs. These are like a second run, so these have not had any issues. All right, first of all, just right out of the gate, I've used these Magpul Glock magazines for several firearms classes. I've used them at the range numerous times. If you've ever watched any of my Glock 17 videos on the channel, I've used these and had no problems with them at all. Just kind of some basic statistics on them. They are $13.73 a piece if you get them from deguns.net. Now, I'm not being paid by DE Guns to mention that, but that's one of the cheapest places online you can get them. And they're also located in Nebraska. It's a place I stop at once in a while, and I've had great luck with them. On the other side, you've got your Glock factory magazine. And what's interesting about this is I've got Austrian-made magazines, but my Glock was actually manufactured in Georgia. But these are the magazines it came with. It came with 3 of these. And I don't know if Glock is manufacturing all the magazines in the USA now for USA production pistols or not. So it's kind of an interesting situation. It feels like definitely a sturdier construction than the Magpul Construction, although Magpul uses an excellent polymer in their magazines. Notice that you have these like little metal inserts right here where you've got your magazine release buttons and locking tabs and so on, whereas your Magpul versions don't have that. I've never had a problem with these Magpul magazines falling out during any kind of drills. I've dropped them on the ground, never broken before. Now granted, they're just falling onto hard dirt or gravel, but they've never shattered or broken or anything like that. And I've used them in all types of different temperatures, freezing temperatures, 100-degree temperatures, because I get those extremes where I live. One of the definite negatives of the Magpul magazines, and something that maybe that makes these more of a just kind of an all-around beater magazine or range magazine, is the fact that you don't get the, I don't know if you call it the co-witness windows on the back, the loaded indicators on the back. You have one window that tells you you've got 17 rounds and that's it. Whereas with the Glock, you've got 17 different windows that indicate that you've got 17 rounds or however many rounds you have in the firearm. It is marked at 9x19 on the top in the follower, and on the Glock it's 9mm and 9mm on the top. The followers look very similar in design. Spring tension, all load, 1 cartridge in each one. Now it's going to be kind of relevant because these magazines have seen quite a bit of use, and springs can loosen up over time. It's just for the cost, is it something you should consider buying or not? So first of all, being that these have a metal liner in them, you would expect the Glock magazines to maybe weigh a lot more than the Magpul magazines. So what we're going to do is just do a quick weight test with the magazines and see if there's any difference between them. We'll zero the scale here and go from there. Yeah, this is a kitchen scale. I don't have a digital. It's probably the one thing I need to invest in next. So basically we are zeroed. If you put your Magpul magazine on the top, you're going to see that it weighs in at about 3 ounces, just a shade under 3 ounces. All right, which is not bad. Okay, we'll go ahead and re-zero. And your Glock magazine weighs in at 3.5 ounces. So surprisingly, you would think that maybe this would weigh an ounce more because it's got, or 2 ounces more because of the all-metal lining, the reinforcements that's in there. So weight really isn't an issue, and obviously when you load the magazines, it won't make much of a difference. I've left these loaded for months at a time and then gone to the range and fired the rounds out of them and had no problems with them at all. Same situation with the Glock mags. They've always been solid for me, no problems whatsoever. Overall, building construction feels pretty good. The Magpul magazines do have a neat little plate on the bottom that you can use to write your magazine number on there, or maybe you've got a particular round that you like to keep in them and keep them around. If you do that kind of thing, they do that on their PMAGs, and other companies do that too. Really not a big deal. Whereas your regular Glock magazines don't have that. Now these do say Glock Austria. I've seen newer ones that don't have that anymore. Construction looks virtually identical with the American-made magazines versus the Austrian ones. Now again, talking about price, we're looking at about $13.73. Retail is 16 bucks if you ever pay the full price. Now if you go to buy Glock magazines, again at DE Guns, they've got these for $24.99. And that's a really good price, 25 bucks basically. If you go to like say a Cabela's or another sporting goods store, you could pay up to $40 original price, but $24.99 let's just say 25 bucks versus $14. You can just about get 2 of these for the price of 1 of these. Well, like I said, if you're looking at going into any kind of a situation where you need to defend your life, or you know you're going to be in rugged, heavy conditions, say maybe some heavy drilling that you're doing or testing or go to war and so on, I would stick with the Glock factory magazines. Again, never had a problem with Magpul PMAG stuff ever. I've had them drop, I've stepped on them, I've done this, done that, never had a problem with them. Okay, so they're both great magazines for the money, not to knock on either one. And again, these have seen a lot of use and you wouldn't even guess it. I mean, the polymer holds up great on the Glock factory mag. Real quick, let's just put 1 round, 1 cartridge in the Glock mag. Again, nice and smooth. You know what, let's put a couple in there. Let's see if I notice any kind of a spring tension difference between these. I won't be using the speed loader, so just press down on the front. You know, fairly easy to do. The Glock magazines are some of the easiest magazines to load in my opinion. 5. Okay, I think we have 6 rounds in here. You know, good spring tension, nice solid lockup. All right, no problems there. All right, now let's check out the Magpul magazines. Definitely a lot lighter spring. Doesn't mean the springs are going to wear out sooner, but I've just, you know, they're a little bit easier to put your rounds in. The point is that, you know, are you going to be getting cheaper springs? Or are you going to be getting weaker springs if you buy a Magpul manufactured Glock magazine? No, I don't think so. Again, I've never actually worn these out. I've got about 3 of these floating around, and I just kind of bounce between both of them. So, again, if you're on a budget, you want more mags, granted, most of your Glocks come with 3 magazines, most of your 17s. In this situation, I've got the 34, okay? Comes with 3 magazines also. So if you just want to buy a couple extras to have around, absolutely nothing wrong with going the Magpul route. Real quick, just want to show you, see if there's any kind of a difference in the way that the pistol releases the 2 different magazines. So again, if you're somebody who's been on the wire, maybe say, you know, I'll never buy anything other than a factory mag, you know, okay, let's go ahead and just put the mag in. Again, very little resistance, just goes right in. Doesn't necessarily spring out of there, but just gravity just falls out, no problems. You know, a little bit of play there, a little flimsy. And basically you have the same amount of area to rest, you know, the bottom of your palm or finger on and so on. Okay, go ahead, take that out. I mean, a little loosey-goosey, but you know, not a big deal. Okay, factory Glock mag, same kind of situation. Ejection, obviously, no problem. So just want to show you that if you get the Magpul magazines, you should not have any issues with these ejecting at the range, falling out automatically if you need them to, and so on. So there you go, guys. That's basically it. Glock PMAGs, do I recommend them? Yes, but maybe not as a go-to-war magazine, simply because you don't have that metal liner construction in there. Most of the magazines I have for my guns are either all steel or metal reinforced. And so with these, I think they're fine. For what they are, I think they do a pretty good job. They're a great value for the money. So there you go, guys. I want to thank you for joining me today. Just a real simple, basic video talking about the differences between the Magpul. This is the PMAG 17 GL9 17-round magazine for Glock pistols, and the standard Austrian-made 17-round magazine. Now, also, I believe they make a 21-round magazine, Magpul does, for the Glock. I'm assuming you can use it in a 17 or 19. 34 other models and so on. I've never tested one of those mags. I haven't tried one yet. They run about $19 at deguns.net. So there you go. All right, so thanks for joining us today, guys. Please like or subscribe. You can check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm also over on gunchannels.com. It is an awesome community. I highly recommend all of you go join. Gunchannels.com is very cool. You can find me over on the Ordinary Average Guy Gun Channel over there on Gun Channels, and the Caliber Corner, which is a Saturday morning podcast that we do on YouTube at 8 o'clock Central Time approximately. There's 7 episodes of that you guys can check out, so please do so. Otherwise, guys, that's about it. We'll be taking this G34 out to the range. We're going to put it through its paces, run a few rounds through it, see how accurate it is. I'm really excited to take it out. We'll be heading out in a couple hours. So there you go, guys. I want you to have fun. I want you to be safe. And as you know, we will talk to you soon. All right, guys, take care. We'll talk to you later. Bye.